Well, good morning. There goes my cell phone. Today we're going to explore out behind Digby. And by behind, I mean to the south. Out Acaciaville, Conway. Out in lake territory. Quite a few little roads interwinding out through here, all the way down across Southwest Nova, really. Fire, like service roads, fire roads, stuff like that. A lot of four-wheeling roads for ATVs and UTVs, stuff like that. We're just really going to pick a couple and kind of go and see where the early day takes us. So we've got Hillgrove to the right. We're going down. That'd be a fun hill in the wintertime. That camper's got quite a view. Somebody coming up behind me like they're racing NASCAR. I never really get that with people on dirt roads. It's like, I don't know what you feel. I'm gonna go super fast somewheres. why the suspension's beat out of my vehicle. Yeah, no. I'll be quiet. Fair amount of houses out through here, all things considered, you know, like I'd almost expect with this many houses you'd have like that it would be paved. It's kind of odd. So this is where it goes to more of a path, I would say. And I'll be perfectly honest, I've never been out here. So this will be an actual adventure. But from the GPS, this butts up to what's called Sisaboo Road. It seems to be well traveled, but it's stuff like this that kind of gets me a little bit nervous. Never know what's underwater. That's the whole doesn't seem to be that bad of a road. It seems to be this is just kind of exactly what the road's for. That seems to be the fun spot right back there. I think I'm a lift kit and some swampers shy of taking the Jeep in there. So this right here is pretty much what she's got, she's built for. A little bit of washout there. Hopefully I don't come across too much more of that. I don't need a whole lot of washout. What a beautiful spring day. This is just the kind of thing that I was envisioning for today that I needed. My everything kind of needed this. A little break away from what's taking place with Cooper, and just a little mental release, I guess. Jeep ain't going up through there. Big boulders blocking her. She's most definitely turned into a wheeler path right there. Yeah. Path I'm supposed to be on, that I wanted to be on, continues right there. But I am not prepared to beat the old Jeep to pieces for that. So we will turn around. There was going to be many scratches and scrapes coming out of that. disappointed that I didn't go all the way through, but I don't know, kind of by myself, kind of got to think smarter than harder. And I really didn't want to get into a pickle down through there and some sharper rocks and puncture a side hole in a tire or something like that. So we'll let that part live for another day. Still a nice drive though. Yeah, this looks like it would be quite the fun adventure in the wintertime. This right here would be jolly fun. Well, let's go out where we was. This was kind of where I was planning to come out, but now we're back here anyway. The True Measure Spring. Bicycles are out. Some nice homes out through here. Not long gain in elevation coming up over there. know why they call it Ridge Road. You can see right down across either side of her. I bet you this would be an interesting spot in the wintertime. As high up and coming right in off the basin and right in off of St. Mary's Bay. I bet you get some weather up here. Corner has definitely seen some wear and tear. Living right at the bottom of an air at a runway. I don't know about that. At Digby Municipal Airport to the left of us. Just like that, we're back to the dirt. So we're cutting over on Van Buursik Road, and then we're going to be going back down Jordan's Crossing Road. We just came off of Bloomfield Road. Well, that's not a road, that's the tracks. We will not be taking the tracks. Led astray by GPS. Yeah, it's kind of a shame because on the GPS it makes it look like a loop where you can kind of go right back down and it connects to where we come from, but I've walked on the I've walked many times on the tracks, and there's no way that I'm taking my vehicle with these tires down them tracks. We're headed back in towards Digby. Yeah, I basically led myself right into a little... There was no way of getting back out without backtracking, so I just stopped rolling footage and kind of got back here and every way that I tried to make a loop today didn't really work out. I ran into a roadblock everywhere I went, but still ended up being a nice day. I still accomplished what I wanted. I got out, seen some sights, got the fresh air. Give myself a little time to think, process some things that's happened. What a beautiful view of Digby that they get from up here, though. That house right to the left of us there, they have a beautiful view. These next two houses coming down off this hill. Yeah. Oh my. See almost all the way up to Annapolis Royal. A couple of these houses would have some nice view of the Scallop Day parade, or the lights. I mean the fireworks and whatnot. If my mind could have been in any other, like, just complete opposite from what I wanted to say. Sunday church service in full swing. You don't see. That's getting to be a rare commodity around here. More and more churches closing or relocating to just, I guess, combining congregations to make it actually more effective or cost effective seems to be a thing. There's been a couple churches in the Annapolis Valley that's already been sold privately, and people's turned them into actually rather attractive pieces of property. They still resemble a full-on church, but inside, they're actually, some of them are really nice. It really kind of boggles your mind to have some people look at some things different. Some people look at a piece of wood and they see a piece of wood. Some people look at a piece of wood and they see something complete. They see something within it. Some people look at a structure and it's the same thing. They pull vision out of things that most people just don't even notice. It's rather nice, but just kind of makes you wonder just the differences in how people see the world. That's nice. Chucked the cigarette butt right out. No, not much of a fan of that. I guess in today's day and age, we'll just be happy if it was a cigarette butt. very well could have been anything, a number of other things being tossed out. That's a funky looking little electric bicycle. Quite neat. Just when we key in Bad Boys music. I know somebody's got it going through their mind right now. It's still a rather chilly day though. There's quite a little bit of wind in the air. The sun, it looks nice, but she's not got a lot of power in it yet. It feels nice when you can get a windbreak, but when you're left in that, when you still got yourself left out in the wind, it's still quite raw, to say the least. Good old Digby waterfront. You never really get tired of this. Or I don't. Quite a few boats in the wharf. Stuff's starting to get a little more active. Honestly surprised there's not more lobster gear piled on the wharf. Maybe I've missed that rush. Rush. I think from what this winter has given us and the slow progress of spring, I don't think there's no rush from what I've been hearing. I think it's been a rather slow spring for lobster. A relatively large price, but relatively slow spring as far as catching. I never really get tired of driving down the wharves. It brings back just a little bit of, I don't know. It just kind of scratches that itch that I have. I think some of it's just seeing some of the boats that I used to fish around. Some of it's just seeing how some of, trying to see if I can't see anything the way people's, technology that's progressed or. Now you see to the right or to the left of us there, those little yellow buoys, those are actually single trap lobster traps. Single buoy. There might actually be 2 traps on there probably. There's probably 2. They'd be what's called a double. You'd be surprised how many's probably right there. This time of year, lobsters would be tucked right up in close to there. They're usually tucked in pretty close to shore. And inside those rock formations that break wall would have, that would provide a pretty good little spot for some of them. It's a busy little spot, and this is about half the boats. It takes a lot of upkeep. Quite a few $1 million wrapped up into, tied up at these wharves. A lot of money and livelihood. Well, the video's drawing to a close. Didn't get around all the little spots and nooks and crannies or the little loops that I wanted to, but it still ended up being a nice little day, nice little drive around. Nice escape. I thank you for joining me. And if you've watched this far and made it to the end, thank you very much. I appreciate you very much. I hope you enjoy your day. Try not to waste them.